Hi, and welcome to round two of our Google Sheet tutorial. In this one, we're actually going to look at how to enter some things into cells and a little bit more about what you can do with them. If you need to find out more information about the basics of what a cell is, please look at our last kind of intro to things. So you should have downloaded the IB Practice DCP Practice tutorial. Sorry, that's a lengthy title. It should be made available with the video where you found it. And so in this case, we're going to start with our intro sheet. Oops, sorry about that. You're going to start by your intro sheet. So you're going to click on that if you haven't done so already. We're going to start by practicing entering a few data items into cells. So over here, I have X and Y X and Y columns for me. And so I'm just going to practice entering some different values. Let's pretend that we have X values that go from 0 to 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in 0, and then to go down to the next cell beneath it, I'll hit enter. Then I can type in 1, then enter, then 2, then enter, 3, then enter, 4, then enter, 5, then enter. And so I can move down and enter cells that way. For Y, let's pretend measurements were in centimeters or something along those lines. I might be entering things like 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, maybe there's an error and it was 2.6, or sorry, 2.6, and then let's say an error and it was 2.6 again, and then maybe 2.7. And so if I need to go back and fix anything, I can simply click on a cell. It will highlight it. I can see up here in our function toolbar what the contents of that cell are. But if I actually want to edit it, I'll double click, and then I can edit that cell. In this case, I might change that to 2.7, and then double click on this one and change it to 2.8. Alternatively, if you want to edit something a little bit faster and replace everything in that cell, such as if I wanted this to be 3.0 instead, I can click on this cell one time so that it's selected, and then I can just hit 3.0 and it will overwrite everything into that. Notice though that the decimal disappears. That's because Sheets is trying to be nice for you and get rid of some of the extra data. If you want that back, we'll talk about how to use these buttons up here to increase and decrease the decimal places in a future tutorial. But for now, that's the basics of how to kind of enter data. Now we're going to move into, so that's moving down. If you want to move across instead, so if I want to enter, let's say 6 and 3.1, I could also do 6, and then if I hit tab, I'll move across to the B column, and I can hit 3.1 and be able to move down from there. So I can either hit enter, and it will return back to the column A, or I could have hit tab and it would have gone over to column C. So in general, hitting return or enter will move down a column, hitting tab will move across for the next cells. That's it for just entering data. We'll move into the next one and looking at the summation formula and the average formulas.